And we're back. We're back on the live drive home. Just going to let you know that I'm going to be doing more than one live drive from now on. We're going to try to ramp up some of the things that we're discussing, some of the things that we're talking about. I always try to give quality content, and Shallow Institute Stand Up, we just try to be here trying to say what the world needs to hear. Now, what's this conversation about? This conversation is about the new gold rush. I'm calling it the new gold rush. I got a feeling on the inside. I got something burning in my bones. I believe it to be the gold rush. The gold rush is effectively two particular types of commodities. And the two particular types of commodities that I would like you guys to take a look at, or two stocks of the stock commodity, is AI and, get my camera a little steady here, AI and military stock. Okay? I'm going to start with AI because I can talk at length with respect to military stock. But AI is a little bit new for me. It's a little bit new for most of us. And so I want to get into it and discuss it with you. First of all, what is AI? AI is artificial intelligence, algorithms, smart computers, software that effectively can finish your sentences, finish your books, write programming, things that cause you to believe that this software is almost alive. And artificial intelligence has developed itself in a very extreme way. A lot of apps are utilizing artificial intelligence now. Something that some of us might use, Canva. You can write a couple of sentences, and it'll write a complete article for you. It will write a bio for you. It will break down things, and it will do it excellently. It's not going to be if you say Dell is a leading world speaker in the area of engineering, and you say continue, it will write you an entire resume, and it will be fantastic. It'll be phenomenal. So a lot of books are going to be written by AI. People are going to be writing novels utilizing AI. AI is going to be the thing of the future, and it's just going to get better and better, smarter and smarter. And many of us, we might have missed the first gold rush. You might have missed the Googles. You might have missed investing in Tesla when the electric car concept came out. I'm here to let you know that AI is the next big thing, and it's the next big gold rush. We've already have examples by companies like NVIDIA. Their stock took off about 243%. Effectively, if you invested 10,000, your stock would be maybe 300,000 by now. So AI stock and the AI entire market, that entire industry, is prepared for big things. Now, the question is where, and the question is when. Of course, that's the thing about stocks: what stock to buy and when to buy it. That is something that you're going to have to do your own research on. I'm not here to give you advice on how to invest. I'm not here to give you advice on what to invest in, but I'm here to let you know that that industry is something that you absolutely cannot miss. You need to still be responsible. Should you throw your entire portfolio into AI? You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that because some stocks or some companies are going to do well, and sometimes companies you won't hear about ever again. Okay, and just like everything else in the world, regulation and politics dictates. Who knows who? Nepotism dictates. So sometimes it's very hard to even predict, even if a company has some type of proprietary patent, something that is specific to them. Still, you never know how things turn around. So always spreading your bet across some of the most up and coming new companies is the way to go. Staying up to date with what that industry and the industry news. It's important to deal with industry news. So if you're talking about artificial intelligence, you're talking about finance, they're always going to have industry news in that particular area. You're going to have experts and opinions of people who speak to that area. Stay up to date with those things. Keep those things in mind, because there's very few times in your life where there's going to be a transfer of wealth extremely in one particular direction. And this is another one of them. This is another one of them. I've come into a few in my life, but this is definitely another place where wealth can transfer on a significant level. Some of the things that I've talked about in my past, I've talked about how I have gone into life accumulating things. I accumulated particular people partners, and with those people partners, I've decided to do the regular things of life. I decided to buy property, right? And with those people partners, the unfortunate things about them is when those relationships break up, so does your property investment. A lot of times you either lose some of it or all of it, and it goes to that other person partner, or you have to split it, and it mitigates your growth of that particular asset. Stock, I always say, if I had gotten into the stock market when I was younger, a lot of my assets would still be here. They'd still be within my possession. And I'm here to let you know that stock is probably the best way to go when it comes to your individual wealth. Yes, when you get married or when you get connected with somebody or other people, you might go in the direction of real estate, and real estate is absolutely a great wealth growth for your life and allowing your portfolios to grow, your wealth to grow. But stock investment, wise stock investment, is also a very smart way to go. And let me tell you my understanding and my approach to it. There are stocks to me that are can't lose stocks, or I'll say it like this: there are industries that are can't lose industries. Number one in North America and the world, it's military. That's the number one on my list. Military stock is an industry that you can bet, you can rely on. You can rely that there will be wars and rumors of wars. You can rely on that. And if you now figure out where to place your bet within those particular industries, for example, Raytheon, GE, companies that have serious patents that make serious things. GE broke themselves into a few different pieces. They were one of the first makers of jet airplane engines. And they are still one of the world's leaders in propulsion systems. Raytheon holds, I believe, or used to hold most American military patents. They have maybe thousands and thousands of military patents, which means that when military spending takes place, which I'll talk about in a minute, money is going to go to Raytheon, right? And then when you combine the military with AI development, when you put those two complementary sectors together, you have the potential for fantastic growth. Fantastic growth. Let me give you an example. For example, let's say that you created a AI that had the ability to outsource particular world leaders in a particular region of the world. All right, it was smart enough for facial recognition. It was smart enough to figure out voice recognition, figure out patterns of how they move, and was a smart missile that you could launch on Monday, and it could sit up there and wait for 2 weeks, a month, for its right opportunity to strike, figuring out that person's schedule, figuring out when that person would be out in the open, when that person would be alone, so they would mitigate damage to their families or children, and it would strike when it was an opportune moment to do so. And then you combine that with, of course, it's the AI combined with that military technology. You have something very dangerous. And these are the things that our AIs are doing in combination with the military. They're trying to create smarter weapons. They're trying to create more effective ways to kill. And these are the things right now, unfortunately so, that the world is actually causing to be the things they're spending trillions and trillions of dollars on. I remember some people got to me the other day, and some of you might take exception saying, well, wow, why would you want to invest in that? Why would you tell us to be putting our money in that? It was very interesting. In our community, we felt that when the legalization or what should I call it? When the legalization of marijuana was taking place, many people felt that, oh wow, this is going to be an amazing transfer of wealth. That now that marijuana is legal, all the private people can now start making marijuana, selling marijuana. Well, little did they know that when the government legalized marijuana, they were also going to keep control of it. Countries like Canada, they kept control of it. They kept control of the ability to mass produce it. They kept control of the licensing. They controlled it. And they still control it. And so when I'm talking about military stock, this is stuff that's already been controlled. Government is controlling it, but private sector runs it. The private sector runs these things, and this is why they run them, because people in government are being paid off by the private sector and potentially own these private sector corporations, 3, 4, 5 times removed at arm's length. So now they can give trillions of dollars to themselves through military stock, through military companies. Other aspects are like this. You have countries like the Ukraine and Israel. When America gives billions of dollars to Zelensky or billions of dollars to Netanyahu from military, what I used to think is that they sent these people a check for all these billions of dollars, but they didn't. What they do is they send that IOU per se, they send the money to that American military organization or corporation, and that corporation sends the weapons. So the government pays the private sector in America, and then they ship the weapons to those countries, those destination countries. What a fantastic hustle. What a fantastic hustle. They say, man, we need weapons. We need weapons. You need weapons? What you need? Man, you're one of our allies. Help us out. So not only are those countries buying weapons, but America is infusing their own currency into private corporation, driving up the price of stock, driving up the dividend that's being paid out, driving up the shareholder value every time a major war is taking place. And if they're doing it with military, those military organizations are also doing R&D, research and development with AI technology. What a perfect marriage. What a perfect marriage. And so now you know how to outsource a great AI stock. You try to see what AI companies are making relationships with military companies, signing military contracts for their technology. That AI stock will take off because now you realize that that company is about to grow. It's a fantastic tool, in my opinion, for the transference of wealth that is going to take place in the next few years. A Donald Trump government is a guarantee for wars. A Kamala Harris government is a guarantee for wars. A Netanyahu government is a guarantee for wars. The Vladimir Putin government is a guarantee for wars. And so you have your major corporations and country corporations who are extremely interested in war, in the accumulation of weapons, in the accumulation of smart weapons, and therefore you have a built-in consumer, a government consumer, who is helping drive the price of your stock up. Let's start there. Let's set that foundation there. Now, the question really is now, how do I spread this out? Do I put all my money here? You don't. You don't put all your money in military, because you have to understand how the economy works. You don't put all your money in AI, because you have to understand how the economy works, right? Third major component or sector to place your money is in the banks. It's in the banks, because banking and industry go hand in hand. Most corporations don't want to use their own money. They're borrowing from the banks. They're putting themselves in a position to borrow money from the banks. You also want to put yourself in a position to buy bank stock. Banks make money when there is a war. They make money when corporations are trying to grow because they're borrowing money. They're making sure they're hedging themselves against particular funds that they have, and the bank stock goes up. You want to be in a position where you're controlling stock in major banks in the country that you're living in. The big banks, not the little ones. Yeah, you can risk your money in the little ones if you want to, but I'm not here to gamble. I don't believe investing is gambling. I believe investing is putting your money in sure things, and things that you've done the research on. And I would also spread my money out with all the major banks in your particular country. 5 or 6 major banks, spread out that money. Spread out your money with 3 major AI companies. Spread out your money with the 5 top military organizations. And then also keep some money in basic cash. When I say cash, probably a money market account, something that's just basically sitting there collecting a small amount of interest, and a small amount of interest these days is usually about 4%, and spread your bet out that way. That's my opinion of what I think we should be doing right now. I think people who know that they don't have a nest egg, that they don't have the capacity to buy a house. Let me give you another strategy. You've got about $10,000 to $20,000 saved up, and in the market that you're in, that can't really do a good thing for you in respect to a down payment on a house. It's a tough market. They're telling you 5% down. They're telling you, the houses are going for $700,000-$800,000, and you're worrying whether or not you're going to be able to carry a house. You're going to spend all your savings, put a down payment, and go from there. My suggestion is this: you got $20,000. You divide that money in $2,000 pieces. You hear what I'm saying? Listen to me now. You divide that money into $2,000 pieces, and you start sector investing. You invest in the bank sector, technology sector, specifically in companies that are leading the charge with AIs, the military sector, okay? And then, last but not least, if you're really smart, you put your money in an index stock. An index stock means it's going to follow the index of the market, and you spread your money out like that, and you wait. You sit there and you wait 5 years. The hard part about spreading it out like that, there's 2 issues. When you spread it out to those many, I'll give you the positives. When you spread it out that way, you basically hedge your investment against great losses, right? If some particular sector tanks, all your investment doesn't tank with it. If some sector takes off, all your investments don't take off with it, but still you have a nice little portion of your investment that's growing because you've placed it in multiple areas of that sector. So if one bank takes off and the other banks don't do as well, you're still hedging it around, and all of your banking investments go up. But this is the issue: when you're trying to get out of that scenario, now you're incurring fees to take your money out. You're also incurring fees to put your money in, right? You're incurring fees every time you buy a stock to put your money in. when you're incurring fees to take your money out. But that's still safer, spreading it out amongst a few different sectors and not being quick with the trigger. Sit on that thing for 5 years. If it goes crazy in 1 year in one particular sector, relax, wait. It will all balance out. Don't move it too quickly, right? If you do need your cash, you have a certain amount of that money sitting around in cash, but leave your stock alone. Give it 5 years to show you what's going on. And I'm not a guy that's going to say these days, sit around and make this stock sit there for 20 years, because life changes. But I think 5 years is a very smart and conservative way to watch how a particular sector grows. And then you reassess after that 5 year period. But what I'm telling you now is that the place where we're sitting here watching an American election take place, watching a war that's happening in the Middle East since October of last year, listening to the things that are going on in Israel, Netanyahu saying things like, I ain't going anywhere until these guys are gone. Doesn't matter, he doesn't care what his people are screaming about. Realizing that there's a rise in areas of technology like this AI sector, it's an opportune time to make safe and intelligent investment. And I'm telling you that the AI market is about to just make some people millionaires. Now, we don't know which companies are going to take off, but we've seen some, like I mentioned in the video earlier, we've seen some take off. But what we do know is that that sector is absolutely ripe and ready to go bananas. Trillions of dollars are going to appear in some particular sector, or some particular corporation rather, that has the capacity. Oh boy, everybody's trying to call me when I'm on a live. Everybody's trying to call me on a live. I apologize for that. For those people who have to sit there and wait for that moment, when it plays back, it won't be that fast. It won't be long. But that's it. That's really all I want to tell you. I want to break that down to us and talk about that. I think these are things to watch. These are things to keep your eye on. These are things that should not be underestimated. Also, somebody might ask the question, what is the minimal amount of money I need to start buying stock? I would say you can start buying stock at $5. I would say you can start buying stock at $500. At $500, you have a $500 that you're $100. At $500, you have a $500 that you're thinking that you want to set up. $500, you might buy yourself maybe 2 or 3 different companies. Maybe you put that $500 in one company, but at least 2. And I always say split the sector. If you got $500, put $250 in an AI stock. Put $250 in the military stock, right? Start small if you got to start small, but start, period, and watch it, and set your budgets for saying, hey, if I make a certain amount of money, I'm gonna buy stock. I'm going to buy stock, and I'm telling you, the return on your stock will put you in a position to buy a home much quicker than a lot of things that folks are doing right now. And some of you are saying to yourself, I wanted to run my own business. Well, this is perfect. Let your business be investing. Let your business be reading the newspaper, reading the news, understanding what the economy is doing, understanding what's next, and stay a step ahead. When you see a war is about to take place, understand the American military is about to start sending contracts to their private military industries, these private military sectors. Money's about to exchange hands. Any ally of America who's in a war, that means the American military private sector is about to be stimulated with an increase. And so you should look out for that. But in the meantime, AI is affecting every single sector: print, ads, military, it's education-based, it's programming-based, it's medical. AI is everywhere, and putting your money in a couple of strong AI corporations I don't think you're going to be disappointed. All right. God bless you. This is Del K. Bridge, and this is The Real Spiel. The Real Spiel's coming back, baby. Subscribe, link. We talk about a whole lot of things on this station. Take a look at the past conversations and stay in touch with me. Tell me what you think.